So the Spy Kids, they were in Houston, and it was summertime, and school was out, and they were enjoying it. And they were having so much fun, and they were going to camps, and they were swimming, and they were enjoying their new house and yard. And the wee Spy Kid, he was getting bigger and bigger and smarter, and he was so much fun. And of course, we know there are two other Spy Kids. One lives in San Diego, and the other one lives in Costa Rica. And they love their Houston cousins. And they're so sorry that they don't get to see them very often. Well, meanwhile, back in Maryland, Superhero Granddad was doing all kinds of honeydew projects that Superhero Grandmother wanted. She wanted a car that could change into an airplane, and she wanted another form of energy that she could use to dry dirty socks and to cook dinner so she didn't have to use fossil fuels. Lots of other projects. But then a terrible thing happened. The Houston Spy Kids forgot to obey their mother. They forgot to stay close to her where they were in a crowded place like a mall, and they got lost. So the mother called Superhero Granddad for help. And Superhero Grandmother, she got into her new car that could fly, and she went out to Houston and picked up the Super Spy Kid there, and Costa Rica and picked up the other Spy Kids. Well, Superhero Granddad began to think about what might be going on, and he decided this must be the work of the evil genius and his new friend, the diabolical Elon Musk. This guy was using taxpayer subsidies for all kinds of nefarious things, and he was digging tunnels under the ground, and that was very dangerous because they could collapse and could injure people. And this is exactly what happened to the Houston Spy Kids. They fell into one of these tunnels. And so then there was another flood in Houston, and the Spy Kids got trapped. So Superhero Granddad knew he had to rescue them. So the first thing he had to do was to make a plan. And he knew that Band-Aid could help. And he thought, well, maybe he should get the other Spy Kids involved. So that's exactly what they did, because the San Diego Spy Kid, she was a great swimmer. And maybe they could use the Costa Rican Spy Kid to create a diversion. So he was getting everything ready. And Superhero Grandmother, she returned out there to Houston with the Spy Kids, and Granddad got Band-Aid to swim into the tunnel and find out how to rescue the trapped Spy Kids. Band-Aid made himself invisible and went into the tunnels and found the Spy Kids, and he was so happy to see that they were safe, but he didn't want to make himself visible again, because he didn't want to get caught. But anyway, he licked the Spy Kids and tickled them, and they knew he was there, but they just couldn't see him. And then they waited for the evil Elon Musk to fall asleep. And the San Diego Spy Kid, she swam into the tunnel and brought food and coconut water to the Spy Kids. And it was so funny because she tricked Elon Musk, and she put shampoo all over his pillow. And while he was sleeping, he got shampoo into his eyes. And for sure, when he woke up, he was going to have stinging eyes, and he wouldn't be able to see. Now it was time for the diversion. So the Costa Rican Spy Kid, she set up a stand in front of the fried chicken stores and started selling gallo pinto with Lozano sauce. And people stopped buying fried chicken. And they were only buying gallo pinto. And this made Colonel Sanders crazy. So he was running around trying to stop people from eating gallo pinto. And Elon Musk had shampoo in his eyes, and he couldn't see straight, and he didn't know what was going on. So this was the perfect time to start the rescue. So Superhero Granddad got into his submarine and drove into the tunnels and found the Spy Kids. And Band-Aid was with him, and he was wagging his tail, and everybody was so happy. So all the Spy Kids got into the submarine, and Superhero Granddad had a special treat ready. He had cheese grills for everyone, and they had a delicious lunch and drove all the way back home. They had to go through India to get back to Houston. All the Spy Kids were together, and it was a great reunion, and it was so much fun. And we just hope this is the last we've heard of the evil genius and the diabolical Elon Musk.